I am going to put the webinar, or Mike, you want to go ahead and start?
We're good.
All right, I'm going to put the webinar into presentation mode so that you don't have to mute all your phones.
Presentation mode is now enabled.
All right, first off, I want to thank everyone that is on the webinar tonight. This is for the Flag Football Pre-Competition webinar for Fall Fest on the 24th of October at Mount St. Mary's. So a little bit of the agenda. Pretty typical. We're going to try to get through this as quickly as we can because I know a little later, and as Sam said, she goes to sleep early. So we'll make sure we are cautious of everyone's time. So we got the welcome. Obviously, we're going to talk about some of the entries, the schedule, the venue, and some of the rule reminders. So this year, we have 5 traditional teams and 7 unified teams. We have one more unified team than we did last year. One more team total, which happens to be a unified team. We have a total of 88 flag football athletes and 31 partners, which is great for a sport that is still growing. And we want to make sure we can still continue to grow this sport each year as well, which we have in the past couple of years. The overall event schedule for Fall Fest, 7:30 to 8:30 is delegation registration, is where we are holding the control center in the Knock Arc, which is the gymnasium. We're going to be in the spin room. That's where you'll go and check in. At 8:30, you want to get to the gymnasium so that you can grab a seat for opening ceremonies, which will be at 9 a.m., and then competition will start at 10. For flag football, it's pretty much the same information on there. The 10 a.m. divisioning mini games, if we need it, I'm not 100% sure that we will, but just in case, we want to make sure that's in there. And we should, 5 p.m. should be the latest that we absolutely go, but it might not be that late. Depends on the schedule. This is obviously the venue map for Mount St. Mary's, so you can see where you would come in off of Route 15. You would go to Knock Arc Arena, where opening ceremonies is, and the flag football is in the same place as it always is, on the practice field, right next to the baseball stadium. I believe it's baseball. One of the baseball softball fields. We're going to be right on the other side of that. Just a little bit of close-up of our venue. Same as last year, we'll have a big tent in the middle for lunch and awards, as well as 2 fields on either side, 1 field on either side of the big tent. We will not have a skills competition this year. We only had 1 entrant, and so we're not going to have skills competition this year, unfortunately. Hopefully next year we'll be able to get more interest in the skills. Just some reminders about the game and rules. 2 20-minute halves. I'm not going to read over all these. This will be sent out to you, but just to go over a couple things for you. Like I said, the 2 20-minute halves with 5-minute halftime. We will have a running clock except for the final minute of each half, where it will be stop clock. If there's overtime, we'll go by these. If there's a tiebreaker, as in most of our events, it'll go head-to-head, then points allowed, and so on. Some more reminders. Obviously, there's a maximum of 12 per team, as I mentioned a few times throughout the year. The field, there must be 5 players to start a game, but you can continue with a minimum of 4. So if someone gets hurt, if someone is unable to play the entire game, you can play with 4, but no less than 4. For unified teams, there needs to be 3 Special Olympic athletes and 2 unified partners on the field at all times. Below that, it talks about what the partners can and cannot do. Just a couple of things. Uniforms, pretty typical. No jeans, no jewelry. Players must wear the rubber cleated or flat-soled athletic shoes. No metal cleats, spikes, or so on that could be dangerous to others. Flag pooling, nothing's really changed, just kind of going over a few things. A legal flag pull takes place when the ball carrier is in full possession of the ball. A defensive player may not intentionally pull the flags off of a player who is not in possession of the ball. That will be a penalty. Same rules. The flag guarding, shielding, the attempt by the ball carrier to obstruct the defense access to the flags by stiff-arming, dropping the head or shoulder, or intentionally covering the flags with the football jersey. So please be sure that your athletes and partners, if you have partners, are aware of these rules. Special Olympics flag football is non-contact. There is no contact. If they happen to run into each other, obviously that's unintentional. Nothing intentional contact. So no tackling, no throwing someone down, no stiff-arming, pushing anyone that can seriously hurt them. Any team that repeatedly commits penalties and fouls will have no team shall repeatedly commit penalties/fouls which half the distance to the goal line. The referees/officials will enforce all penalties they consider adequate, including awarding of a score for an unfair act. Our officials, we will be training them the week leading up to Fall Fest, so they will have time to learn the rules, read over everything, so they should be well prepared for the game for you this year.
Melissa, you may want to mention the efforts that you and the sports management team for flag football have made in terms of officials and the challenges there, so that they realize why you're doing that training.
Okay. Well, as Mike said, we've had some difficulties obtaining officials. We talked to NERSA at College Park to try to get some of their officials to come down, and no one was available. We've reached out to multiple organizations and other flag football leagues to try to have them come. We've talked to high school football officials / college, but they all do their games on Saturday, so it's very difficult to get officials. So we have been recruiting the flag football intramural team, players and officials from Mount St. Mary's to come and be the officials for the day. So they know the rules of flag football, so they're a little more fair and a little more better quality officials for you. We've been working to try to get the best officials we possibly can for a few months now. Not an easy thing to do during football season.
Right. Well, so, thank you to Megan Schaefer for bringing her, I think that's still the plan, to bring her team up, or teams, so they can get some, the officials can get some hands-on training with Special Olympics athletes playing.
Yeah, and actually last night, Kyle Weber, who is the student lead at Mount St. Mary's for flag football, attended Megan's practice in Frederick and actually was an official during practice. And Megan had some scrimmages, from what I was told, and kind of threw some curveballs at Kyle. Megan, are you on the line?
You have to go out of presentation mode. She can't
that's right.
respond.
Sorry about that.
Presentation mode is now disabled.
Megan, are you on the line?
Yeah, Mary.
You want to talk about Kyle attending your practice last night a little bit?
Sure. So Kyle was at our practice, and he did fairly well. I guess the only problem we really had was Jeff and I talking to him while he was supposed to be scrimmaging, when things popping into our heads. But he did a good job for the most part officiating, I thought. And I feel pretty confident that he'll be able to pass on everything that we talked about to his referees for our state games.
Great, and yeah, it was a great opportunity, and thank you for letting him come and being able to get in that situation so he is well prepared.
Yeah. No, I thought he did a good job, except especially towards the end when he was kind of getting comfortable with everything. So it was good.
Great, thanks, Megan.
No problem.
All right, so rain plan, typical rain plan. Be prepared to compete in the rain. As long as it's just raining, we will continue to go. If it starts thunder and lightning, then obviously everyone will go into Knock Arc and to get out of the storm, and then we will wait for conditions to be better. But as soon as we can, we will get back on that field and continue the game. So just have your athletes be prepared to play in the rain. The results will be posted in the officials tent as the games are complete. I'll make sure they stay up to date. So once the game is complete and I get the score sheet, then I will post that, or myself or someone on my team will post that for everyone so you can keep track of everything. As always, protests must be filed within 30 minutes of the posted results, and only the head coach from that team can come and do the protest. Any special needs for any of your players, for anything, please email me. We will have medical on site, as always, just in case something happens. We're hoping we don't need them. They have a pretty boring day, but they are there just in case. Lunches will be delivered to the field, so we don't have to go up to Knock Arena, so that's always a nice thing. Obviously, like I said, opening ceremonies are at 9 a.m. We will have awards right on the field, so you don't have to go up to the gymnasium. It's right there on the field. Family hospitality will be located in the field house of the arena, and all day. They will be there, I believe, 10 to 4. So for the family members, please pass that on to your family members. They want to go up, get information, refreshments up there. All right. Any questions? We will start with Baltimore County. Michelle or Don,
yeah, I am. I had you on mute on my phone. I'm sorry. So, the only thing I guess we want to just make sure that is with the uniforms being tucked in the shorts and all the way in the shorts, so they don't overhang on the belt. I know sometimes they come out, but I mean, I think we noticed a lot of that on Saturday, that a lot of the uniforms weren't tucked in and were, constantly coming out. And some of our athletes, sometimes ended up pulling the shirt instead of the flag.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure the officials are aware of that. So they can kind of remind the partners and athletes to either retuck their shirt, just to keep it tucked in. So obviously, it's a very agile sport, so they're going to be moving left, right, forward, speed, running. So it will come untucked, but we'll make sure the officials are aware and can kind of remind them to keep the jerseys tucked in.
Yeah, I would. So this is Bob from Carroll. I would say it definitely got a lot better when we made a point and the officials were just reminding athletes that they noticed it, right? A lot of times they get pulled out too, like trying to pull flags and stuff. So, and they don't notice ever. So I think it was much better after later on in the day when the refs were the officials were saying, "Please tuck in your shirts." I think it was much better then.
Okay. Yep. We will make sure that's in the training and remind them on the day of as well. Anything else from Baltimore County?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Carol, Bob, did you have anything else to add?
No, there was just one thing that just popped into my mind when we were talking about contact, and it happened in my game, and I just want to make sure, I told everybody it was okay, but sometimes there is contact when somebody is trying to intercept the ball.
Right.
If it's just incidental, we're fine with that, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure, because it definitely, they're both reaching up over top of each other's heads, and their hands come down and hit each other sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to be some contact in some point of the game. We just don't want it to be intentional, like tackling and shoving and stuff like that. So there's obviously going to be some kind of contact throughout the game.
My athlete was upset, and I told him, I said, look, you were just playing. It's okay. I don't think anybody was upset on the other side either. But I just wanted to make sure that was not going to be called a penalty or something. So, okay.
Not unless the officials think it's intentional.
Right. Good enough. Yep.
All right. Frederick.
No, we're good.
Okay. Howard? Is anyone from Howard County on? I know they had their management meeting tonight. Okay. Pam, Lower Shore.
Yes. When you talk about a team doing something continuously, like that's against the rule, and then it said like a half distance to the goal, what does that actually mean when they decide to say, well, you half time?
Well, we have to. I actually want to look through the rules one more time.
I know the answer to that one. So,
okay.
So if the penalty, so particularly I can see this on if the team committing the foul is on defense, and they're intentionally jumping off sides or causing a penalty, because the penalty for that is only half distance to the goal, and if you're only 2 yards away from the goal, there's no real penalty. So if somebody keeps doing it on purpose, they're talking about, so you can't be disruptive by doing that, and there's really no penalty. They can actually award a touchdown or whatever they think is fair. Does that make sense? I can't see a scenario on offense where that would be. You wouldn't do it on purpose. So I think it's really on defense where they're jumping off sides because they're trying to get an edge, but the penalty is really not anything measurable. And if you do it a bunch in a row, that's what they're trying to protect against.
Oh, yes, okay. And the other question was regarding shirts. And what happens when people, it seems like that people are intentionally pulling the shirts and not the flag, and the flags do come off?
If they keep intentionally pulling the shirt, then the officials can award a penalty. I guess that's not what. But that's really up to the officials and their judgment.
Okay. I can't think of anything else right now.
St. Mary's.
Yeah, Melissa, I just have one question. Just curious, do you got for the volunteers from the students from Mount St. Mary's, are there a good number of people that are going to be officials? Because in years past, sometimes there was just one person at each game, and that's tough for anybody.
Oh yeah, we're going to try our best to get at least 3 to 4 per field, if possible.
Yeah, I think 3 would be would be ideal.
Yeah, we're trying our best to get as many as we can and have enough so that they can have rest in between games as well, so they're not doing the entire day.
Okay, sounds good.
So not 100% sure on the number that we have right now, but I'm hoping with Kyle's efforts that we should be able to get a good amount.
That's all I have.
If you find out you're struggling with that, let me know. I might be able to get some kids from Gerstel to come up and do it. It's not very far for them either.
Oh, that'd be great.
So if it's a struggle, let me know. I can't promise anything because there's not a lot of time, but I can get my daughter to ask around, and they need lots and lots of community service hours. So
Would they be willing to come up this weekend to Frederick?
well, let me know if you need help, and I'll see what I can do. Like I said, if you're struggling, I can try to get the word out, and you know, I've got a couple of them playing on my team as unified players now, so maybe they can ask some friends if they want to come up and be refs. So
That's great. Thanks, Bob.
okay.
All right. Any other questions?
This is Pam from Lower Shore, and where do you find black shorts without any pockets in them?
I mean, you can order them online. Most stores carry them.
Soccer shorts.
Soccer shorts.
Soccer shorts?
So Dick's.
Yeah,
Dick's, Sports Authority, any sporting store would have them.
Yeah, look for soccer shorts though, because those won't have
Yeah,
pockets.
yeah, okay, I'll look for soccer shorts. That's the only thing I didn't look for is soccer shorts. I looked for all the rest of them though. All right, thanks.
All right. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you all for coming and joining us tonight. And I'm hoping and I believe that this year should be a very good event at Fall Fest for flag football. I was
Melissa, this is Mike. I'm going to call you in just a sec about a different topic.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.